All right. Hey guys, and welcome back to the show today. And today I am going to talk about how I went from a $25 an hour position to where I am right now as a greater than $500,000 clinic owner as a PTA. So I started out basically the same way that all of you did, which was I started out in outpatient care, and outpatient care was totally my jam. But my kids were little and my family needed more financial stability, and we'd moved to a new area, so I had to choose a higher paying job, and that job was with a skilled nursing facility. I did that for a few years, and then went through a divorce and transitioned over to home health because I needed that flexibility for my family as a single mom, as well as the financial independence to be able to support myself. So I did that for about 7 years. And gosh, during that time, I lost my mom, so many changes in my life. And I just had met someone, and that someone was becoming very special to me. And I knew that there was something coming up in our profession with all of the Medicare changes. And I just felt like that transition in home care, where I had moved from the area that I was doing home care and I was rocking it. I had orthopedic clients. I was putting together materials for the new incoming of all of the orthopedic protocols for home care. And I was the only PTA at that time doing post-op follow-ups for all of the ortho surgeons. And then it just blew up, and I had to delegate, and it is where it is today. So I took that and I thought, as much as I love post-op rehab, I knew I wanted to be able to help clients more. I wanted to be able to provide treatment for my clients that were leaving home health, but I found that those clients leaving home health were telling me that their orthopedic physical therapy treatments were just not how I told them it was supposed to be. So I guess I had raised that bar and expectation that they were going to, get better, move better, live better. But when they went to an outpatient PT clinic, it just wasn't, the treatment wasn't what they were expecting. And over the years, guys, I want to be honest. So in outpatient, those were the early years. But when I was going through skilled nursing, when I was going through home care especially, my clients would tell me that my treatments were different than other people's. And I blew it off. I blew it off to them being very, very sweet and very dedicated to my treatments. And I always referred them out to say, I am just a PTA, and the PT is the one to get all of the attaboys, because the PT put the plan of care together. What I have since realized is that these clients were telling me something and I wasn't listening. And I was already contemplating potentially opening a new clinic. And my husband and I met. We were barely married. And poor guy, he, in a matter of getting married and in our first year of marriage, he has a wife that wants to open a business, and my oldest child had a grandchild, and it was a surprise. So he had never been married, got married. His wife wanted to do this crazy thing and open her own business. And then all of a sudden he had a grandchild. So I can't even imagine what his world was, but we won't even go there. But what I did was I stepped out and I learned about business, marketing, and sales. And I absorbed everything out there for business, marketing, and sales. And I thought that was enough. I opened my clinic as a physical therapy clinic because in 2013, there was really nothing else out there for PTAs except for opening a PT clinic. And I opened a PT clinic that was a PT and total wellness clinic. Now, I started that clinic with wellness stuff, really basically working on fall prevention and taking residents from assisted livings that had already finished physical therapy and could not be picked up again. And I had put together a fall prevention program. And in my mind, I thought I can do fall prevention and I can do orthopedics and I can just do it all. And boy, was I wrong. So I opened my clinic, and the fall prevention side, although it lifted off, my orthopedic side lifted it off far more. That was because in my area, the need for someone to specialize in back pain and sciatica was very much needed, because in our area in Westchester, Ohio, the PT, I guess there was a PT that was a back pain specialist, had retired. And so that left a huge gap in our area. And everyone that I spoke to said, hey, physical therapy really gave very limited outcomes to these clients, and that could be a niche that would be helpful. So I sought out different treatment methods that were outside physical therapy to learn more about the musculoskeletal system and its health and wellness. I then met Stacey Harris, who hired on to be my lead physical therapist in my PT clinic. And she was part-time. I was working. I had a tech. There were 3 of us. My daughter helped a little bit. And then the business, because I learned marketing and I started hosting workshops, I grew 300% in 3 months. And I was so not prepared for that, because in the realm of in-network physical therapy, even though I was providing treatments and people were happy, I was happy, I was doing the treatments I wanted to do, Stacy was happy, Brittany at the time was happy, my daughter was happy, all of our clients were happy. The end of the year came and my accountant went, you lost $75,000. And I looked at everything and I had to pay this huge chunk of money for taxes, and I had a loss. So there was a lot that I needed to understand about business at that point. So fast forward to 2020, and I had already been through an in-network clinic as an owner, and it was not profitable. And then thought, well, if I shift to out of network, I can ask more per visit. So I did that. And really in 2019, Alicia, she is a PTA that worked for me for a while and is still a very close friend. And my heart goes out for everything she's done for my clinic to get us to where we are now. She stepped away from her PTA career and she's in a different field right now because she was burnt out. And she didn't do PTA at my clinic. She ran my office and organized everything. She was just everything. But she told me, and Stacy continued to tell me, you've got this. You need to go out on your own and you need to do your own wellness thing because you already have it. And even Tony Maritato said, Kim, we are all looking to have a program like yours and you already have one. So just get it out there. And then I had several other PTs that I won't even mention in this that really pushed me to step aside and invent myself on the wellness side. Fast forward to 2020, and I really, I saw one of the top surgeons here, considered bringing my program to his practice, and I was still evolving into what this was going to be and what it was going to provide for people, and sat down with an attorney, tried to figure out legalities, figured all of those things out. I already had a business. I transitioned that to the Stretch Mobility Coach in 2020. And my schedule was full and I was blown away. I had clarified my treatment service and people were coming because that's what they wanted. It resonated with them. And then I had to create systems, and I had to create a sales process and a lead generation process, and I had to write new messaging, and I had to figure out a new avatar, which is my target demographic market. And my demographic from a PT clinic went from a 55 to 75-year-old demographic to a 18-year-old to 55-year-old demographic, and then it distinctly divided in between 18 and 25 and 35 to 65. And we've evolved since then, of course, and I have since stepped away from treatment because my focus is building out training for physical therapist assistants. And Jordan does all of our treatments within the clinic for Stretch Mobility Coach. I've since introduced another program into the clinic, the red light therapy program, and that program, I'm building out the systems in that side right now. But yesterday, Jordan came up to me and she goes, well, I've never done this before. And in one day, I sold 4 packages in one day. And guys, it didn't blow me away because Jordan is a freaking rock star and she hits her goals every week. She is a solid rock star. Our sales system, all of our system completely on the Stretch Mobility Coach side is rock solid. And she knows her stuff. She knows the stretch method. She knows our processes. And so it didn't surprise me. It wasn't till later last night I was sitting there reflecting on, okay, what kind of training can I do for my PTAs this week, that it hit me that I'm out here selling a program to help a PTA achieve a $10,000 month. And Jordan is a PTA in my clinic. And in one day, she brought in over $3,600 all alone. And so I created a post. If you guys saw that post, it's in the PTA Trailblazer group. But that's how I went from making $25 an hour. And I started, guys, I think it was $17 an hour when I started my PTA career. And that was over 20 years ago in orthopedics. Went up that scale, to the $20 range, went to the $45 range for home care. And now it is not unusual for us to have, over $3,000 days for Stretch Mobility Coach. And then if you add red light therapy on that, we've actually had a $13,000 day, and I've not posted on that. But that's my story. That's how I went from making $25 an hour as a PTA clinician to being a business owner, to no longer treating, but now building out programs, processes, building out training platforms, researching the pain and tightness cycle, which is that deconditioning cycle, so that I can teach PTAs nationwide to be able to duplicate and do what Jordan is doing. Now, that's my story. I hope that that is helpful for you to better understand how I went from where I was to where I am now. I now teach this to like-minded PTAs, and the cool part is those PTAs are starting their business. And where it took me, a matter of 10 years to get to where I am, my PTAs are getting there in less than 3 months. So if you are burnt out, you're frustrated, and you're tired, then please, guys, don't lose hope. You don't have to leave your career. Jump on a call with me. I'm happy to help answer any questions for you. Any way that I can help you, I'm here for you. I want to thank you for joining in today. I appreciate it. And I can't wait to see you on the other side of your career, where you're sitting here where I am today and you're doing the things that you want to do. Thanks so much for joining me, guys. I appreciate it.